That was a regular occurrence, that there was always him raising his voice and letting people know what it was and what it wasn't going to be.
By the time Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC, he didn't have the Cosby Show.
It's about as gangster as you can get, basically. Whose name is on this?
To be able to stand up when they wanted to literally throw him in jail, you know, where they actually did throw him in jail.
R. Kelly is in jail because he didn't want to sell his masters to a certain music company. If he's wrong, he should do the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying he's only there because he broke the rules.
Nothing that they were doing was a problem to the elites, until they went against the elites somehow, and upset the wrong person. I pray and hope, as you watch this video, you keep an open and enlightened mind. We are going to discuss a lot of matters, which are happening in the world, and if you are not awake, they will sound strange to you.
Well, coming into the late 50s and the 60s and finding out that we're so disillusioned by what is happening, because prejudice and racism, of course, it does not exist in all white people, but there's enough that kicks everybody in the backside so that you know that there are enough people who are against you because you are black, that you become paranoid, which is not an evil word to say, because there are white people who are paranoid, white, Jewish, Irish, or whatever. They're paranoid about who they are and what people are going to say about them. I happen to feel that man himself will always be against somebody. If we all had black skin, brown hair, brown eyes, everybody included, we'd still be after the dude with the freckle or the bent toe. It would still be somebody we were trying to do that pecking order thing with.
The industry was okay with their wrongdoings, until they broke the hidden rules that we the public don't know about. Just because you have money doesn't mean you have power. If you want, you could ask Michael Jackson.
We could easily go into Universal and buy, we would own Jaws, E.T., Close Encounters, you know, all the classics from Universal, own all of that stuff. That would allow us to do a a channel. Part of the Marvel channel can be not only the Marvel characters, but Marvel films, like the catalog. We could do anything we want, from restaurants to retail, theme parks.
Now, you actually got the financing in place, I believe, for this deal. Then came the scandal court cases, and it all got put on the back burner. Disney ended up buying Marvel and doing exactly what Michael had predicted and making a fortune at it. Tell me.
Bill Cosby went to jail, not for molesting white women, but him and his wife didn't want to let the second largest oil company in the world drill under their home for oil. These people are not going to jail for sex crimes. They're going to jail for standing their ground. Puffy might be guilty, but that ain't why Puffy in jail. Puffy in jail because listen, you cannot be emotional and solve political problems. You cannot be emotional and solve, we get that from church. Church is all about emotion. You cannot liberate a people with emotion. Puffy may be guilty, and if he is, he should do the time. But that's not why he's there. Hugh Hefner did what Puffy did. He never went to jail. Puffy is in jail because he started a black first political party. Puffy is in jail because he sued one of the most powerful liquor companies in London. That's why Puffy's in jail. What the media does, because they know black people like to see black people fail, is they'll sell us this when the real agenda is that. I'm not saying don't hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. As black people, we believe in ethics and morality and character. But don't be so dumb that you can't see the hidden hand at play. That's all.
Power trounces money. Bill Cosby was allowed to keep getting away with what he did, until he was no longer of any use to the elites. He knew the rules and was against the system, but he forgot his place. Listen to this old interview of him explaining the American system.
In the 40s and the 50s, most black people were trying to gain acceptance. So the idea was to imitate the black. I mean, whatever you want it to be. You want to be a black businessman, so you spoke as the black businessman would speak, and you would dress as he dressed with the three-piece suits, and you would act that way to gain acceptance, you see, and you would talk, so forth and so on, and you wore an Ivy League haircut the same way that he did, and so forth and so on. But we don't want the white people laughing at us, because so far You know, it's just, America has allowed these people who are against us to still exist. That there is a solution to this, which the government itself has not made an effort or a step to take care of. So we all, I believe, are at each other's throats because the government has not laid down the laws of this land as far as the Constitution is concerned. You tell me and prove to me that black people are violent and that they're going to take over, and I can open up the New York Daily News and show you white people who are killing their daughters, their husbands, their wives, their children, killing each other off. Well, if we put that in the paper and make it black and white, which is where the whole thing happens. It's in the paper. If a black man does something, it says, John Jones, black this, said black, 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 and did the black, black. Now, if a white man does it, it isn't white man Jones, it's just a man. Nondescript, just a regular old raggedy man, went out, killed his 2 daughters and his wife, and shot himself. Now, if he does that, then everybody seems to just either sympathize with it or let it go out the window. But if a black man does it, then any white bigot can point his finger and say, see that? There they go again.
Same way Tupac wasn't shot because of beef with Biggie. He was changing the mindsets of the young black man.
When they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody gonna clean it up.
These people in charge do this towards anyone. Anyone out here thinking the crimes these men did weren't known at the time, you're mistaken. These people started to become a liability, and that's when they pulled the plug. They do it for everyone. Look at Epstein, for example. The list goes on. Look at the presidents, both former and current. They just pardon criminals, people who legit broke the law and forgave because they have the what? Power. And what's the media do? They spread another story. And most of the time it always ends up being something about race, ignoring real issues like the student debt crisis, affordable housing, or healthcare. The media has been corrupted for so long, that's why Bill Cosby wanted to purchase his NBC, to change the narrative, but apparently he tried to do so a little late after his influence at The Cosby Show ended. Bill Cosby saw in the 70s that Hollywood was using media to paint black Americans in a negative light, as pimps, players, and hookers, drug dealers, gangbangers, or project families who are non-successful or educated, and he didn't like that because he knew the power of imagery. TV has power over the subconscious mind. Images that are seen live in the brain, even if they are not real. Films, music videos, TV shows have been used to push false histories and negative stereotypes, and specifically it has at times been used to strategically target the black American's public image. Combat the negative images in media. Cosby set out to create a black TV show that showed a black, successful, and intelligent, classy mother, and a black, successful, intelligent, and strong father, raising a family together in America with no drama. The show focused heavily on education. Many black viewers felt like the show was not realistic enough, because it didn't show drama or poverty, but that was the point of the show. Bill wanted to change the narrative, and use his TV show as a spark in black people's minds to want to become this. It was genius, and the show was successful. So successful that another positive black family TV show popped up called Family. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about issues discussed in the video in the comment section.